Titanfall 2 is one of the big games overlooked by players when it first launched, but as people have come to find out, like I have, with the cheap price and sales, this is a gem of a game, and it must try for any first-person shooting players. Definitely don't be put off by the future settings and wall running, as they fit nicely into making this game so good without it being complicated or fiddly for the less coordinated gamers out there. The story is your standard resistance engaged in war, all with the added bonus of giant mechs, set in space, and it works mostly. It's heavily influenced by past games. A level in itself reminds me of a classic called Singularity, to note just one influence. And it's no bad thing, as it keeps the gameplay fresh and interesting whilst you play through the story, and that is fairly decent. Notably, what helps keep things going is the dialogue between yourself and BT, which is the mech you spend the story with. And the great set pieces, all with the fun ideas weaved in, makes it a really good package. I must note, a great level that you play is a factory constructing houses. It doesn't sound like much until you play it, and you feel a healthy respect for what's been achieved by Respawn. It's vast and it's an evolving level, with a lovely twist at the end, but I don't want to spoil it, you just need to play it and you'll know what I'm talking about. Sadly, the evil protagonist mercenaries and their mechs never felt like much presence in the game until you faced them head on as bosses, which was a shame, as wanted more from them to help feel more purpose and grounded in the story. Not that they themselves are bad, as the boss fights all vary, and as you have your own mech and it has different loadouts that you collect and change on the fly, things become interesting and tactical, which is a nice achievement. Also, a nice touch to look out for near the end game is the foreshadowing of Apex. Graphically, the environments are mostly well thought out and planned, with wall running puzzles that are smooth and nice enough to test you without becoming an endless frustration and break up the shooting. Everything feels natural and believable and draws you in, and the mechs and the creatures all feel organic to the gameplay. The sound effects and the music to this game is also on point and incredible, with some nice orchestral scores to enhance moments of triumph, and the guns and explosions feel reactive, which is always key to a great game, and there's a nice difference between guns that keep you giving your personal favourites and then still wanting to mix it up and feeling that you're not really missing out. As we speak about the guns, the setup in this game is you can carry any 2 guns at a time and 1 type of grenade, all accompanied with a brief invisible cloak ability, which doesn't get used too much, but when needed does get you out of some tricky corners you may have got yourself backed into, which is a nice touch. I personally never used the grenades and the various types that much, but that's probably because of the gunplay, and it's really that good, and watching the enemies ragdoll or the helmets pop off never really got old, especially as it felt like you was doing the damage and it all reacted in tune to your actions. Overall, the story is short and sweet, and a part of me wants more, but another side feels happy to have a tidy and finished story that isn't dragged out or made repetitive, and it's all easily done to jump into various missions or switch to multiplayer, which means you're in the action and playing more than you are looking at menu screens, which is always important, especially if you die a lot. For the Platinum Hunters, only 1 trophy of skill stands before you and in the way of getting this Platinum, and it's a grueling test of beating the game's training scenario in under 33.65 seconds. You will need practice, and anyone who has tried it has a healthy respect for anyone who has earned this trophy, so you are warned. The hardest setting completion isn't overly difficult, and the collectibles are minimal and are generous, and few trophies for online means it's a solid list to get through if reasonable for a first person shooter, especially as the multiplayer trophies are nothing difficult at all and very quick to accomplish. Titanfall 2 shows what can be done and achieved with care and attention, and with harnessing fun mechanics of other games, it creates its own identity for a futuristic shooter, and it earns every success it makes because of it. Because of this, it's a 5 out of 5 for me, for many reasons, from simple little things like the loading times being very slick and short, to the grand designs of the levels and how it all clicks together to make a fun environment to mess around in and enjoy. I mostly focused on the single campaign for the review, as the trophies didn't need me to delve into multiplayer much at all, but it is a smooth and fun toy box worthy of being alongside the main story, making it more enjoyable as a whole. Also, PS Maxi even enjoyed it, and we made a challenge video, so it connects with old and young players, which isn't easy to pull off. I hope you liked the video. Give me a like, subscribe, and give me some feedback.